Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today, we're going to take a look at some of the most famous black celebrities who have struggled with addiction, from the spotlight to the dark, haunting corners behind the scenes. Who surprised you the most? Let's find out. Celebrity life isn't always as glamorous as it appears on screen. Behind the fame and fortune, many stars have struggled with temptation and addiction. Some have fallen, others are trying to get back on their feet. Today's list will surprise you when you learn that some seemingly impossible names are actually in this dark world. Which stars on today's list surprised you the most? Comment their names below. If you've heard of them before, leave a 1, and if this is your first time hearing about them, leave a 0. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel to support us in creating more interesting content. The first story is the heartbreaking tragedy of Earl Simmons, better known by his stage name, DMX. Earl Simmons, or DMX, was one of the most influential and controversial rappers of his generation, known for his honest lyrics, powerful vocal style, and dramatic performances. Despite his status as a legendary hip-hop artist with numerous prestigious awards, his legacy has been overshadowed by the negative effects of addiction. DMX's career began in 1985 when he beatboxed for a local rapper named Ready Ron at small gigs. He then decided to pursue a rap career under the name DMX, which stands for Divine Master of the Unknown, and later Darkman X. It was also around this time that his battle with addiction began. In a November 2020 interview, DMX revealed that he first became addicted to cocaine after Ready Ron tricked him into smoking a cigarette laced with the stimulant. This led to a long and painful battle with addiction. Hospitalization. Despite several stints in rehab over the years, DMX was unable to maintain sobriety. Tragedy struck on the night of April 2, 2021, when he was rushed to White Plains Hospital after suffering a heart attack at home, brought on by a deadly combination of drugs, alcohol, and complications from an infection. Unfortunately, he fell into respiratory failure and suffered brain damage. Over the course of several days, he lost the function of several vital organs, including his liver, kidneys, and lungs. He died at the age of 50. His story remains one of the most heartbreaking examples of how addiction can ruin a person's life. Another tragic example of a black celebrity caught up in the maelstrom of substance abuse is Whitney Houston. Houston is still remembered as one of the greatest vocalists in music history, known for her powerful, flawless voice and timeless hits that have influenced generations of musicians. She had it all: immense fame, immense wealth, and countless prestigious awards, with over 220 million records sold worldwide, cementing her status as a global music icon. However, dark clouds began to gather in the late 1980s and became increasingly dense in the 1990s. This period saw a marked change in Whitney's behavior, with erratic behavior becoming more frequent. These were early warning signs of the beginning of her grim battle with addiction, a dark force that was slowly eating away at her once glorious life and career. Unsavory rumors and images began to circulate, raising concerns among fans about the diva's true condition. On February 11, 2012, the world was shocked and saddened when Whitney Houston was found unconscious in her bathtub at the Beverly Hilton Hotel. The official coroner's report determined the immediate cause of death to be drowning, with atherosclerotic heart disease and cocaine use identified as significant contributing factors. Sadly, The autopsy also revealed that she had used cocaine shortly before her death, leading to the tragic accident. Whitney Houston's sudden death remains a haunting reminder of the devastating effects of addiction, robbing a great musical talent and leaving behind a legacy of grief. Another African-American star who faced serious battles with addiction was Rick James. Known as one of the most influential and prominent musicians of his time, especially for his unique blend of rhythm and blues, funk and rock, Rick James rose to stardom in 1978 with his breakthrough album Come Get It, which included the hit You and I. This initial success catapulted him to the pinnacle of fame and opened the door to a life filled with temptation. However, as his career took off, he was beset by the constant temptations that come with fame, including drugs, alcohol, and a constant cycle of wild parties. What may have started out as a quick fling, as time went on, Rick James increasingly turned to stimulants as a way to cope with the immense pressures of the music industry and to maintain the high-energy performances that audiences expected. His drug use, which had been purely recreational, gradually turned into a serious, uncontrollable addiction. Things got so bad that Rick James openly admitted to spending thousands of dollars a week just to feed his addiction. This was the beginning of his inevitable downfall. Rick's health began to decline, and he faced serious medical problems. Fans were shocked when Rick James was found dead on the morning of August 6, 2004, at his home in Los Angeles. An autopsy revealed various substances in his system, but none were determined to be the direct cause of death. He died at the age of 56. Legendary actor and Hollywood icon Samuel L. Jackson also makes the list. Jackson has had a hugely successful career spanning over 4 decades and remains one of the most widely recognized actors of his generation. His films have grossed over $27 billion worldwide, making him the highest-grossing actor of all time. However, Jackson's road to the top was not a smooth one. In the late 1970s, as his career began to take off, Jackson struggled with alcohol and substance abuse. He initially used them as a coping mechanism for the pressures of the highly competitive industry and depression caused by financial hardship and mounting bills. However, over time, this became a serious problem that affected both his personal and professional life. The reality of Jackson's struggles only became clear in 1991 when he returned home drunk from a farewell party with friends. His wife found him unconscious on the kitchen floor and begged him to get help. Fortunately, Jackson overcame his addiction after several stints in rehab. However, looking back on his years of substance abuse, he admits that his addictions hampered his acting career. He believes his performances would have been even better had he not been under the influence of drugs and alcohol. Marvin Gaye, a monument in the history of rhythm and blues and soul music, especially in the African American community, faced a tragic battle with addiction. Behind the glitter and success of his musical career, he began to struggle with substance abuse after being first exposed to cocaine in the early 1960s. By the late 1970s, his dependence on the drug had become so severe that it had a profound negative impact on his life. Despite seeking help and trying to overcome it, Marvin Gaye could not escape the vicious cycle of withdrawal and painful relapses. His addiction was exacerbated by severe anxiety and depression, psychological problems that eventually took a toll on both his personal life and his once successful musical career. The obsession and constant struggles with addiction pushed Marvin Gaye to the brink of despair, causing him to become paranoid and live in constant fear. He even began wearing a bulletproof vest every day, only removing it when performing on stage or returning home, believing that there was a dark plot aimed at his life. Marvin Gaye's pent-up emotional and mental pain finally reached a breaking point, leading to a heartbreaking tragedy on April 1, 1984. After a bitter family argument, his father, in a sudden and extremely unfortunate turn of events, took Marvin's life. The loss was not only an irreparable personal tragedy for his family, but also a huge shock to millions of fans around the world and the African-American community. When Marvin Gaye died, traces of cocaine were found in his system, a painful and stark reminder of the devastating effects that addiction had on his life and his potential career. Lamar Odom, a talented and highly publicized professional basketball player, is a heartbreaking example of how a promising career can be cut short by the effects of substance abuse. Lamar's basketball career blossomed in the early 2000s, and he eventually joined the Los Angeles Lakers, where he played alongside the legendary Kobe Bryant. He helped the Lakers win back-to-back championships in 2009 and 2010, and was named NBA Sixth Man of the Year in 2011. Have you ever heard of a black celebrity involved in drug addiction? If so, comment number 2, and if you have never heard of it, leave number 5. Who is the name that shocked you the most in today's video? Comment below so we can discuss. And don't forget, enjoy the video and leave a sub to support the channel to make more quality videos. However, despite his considerable success on the court, Lamar struggled with substance abuse issues. In an interview with TMZ, Lamar revealed that his condition became so severe that, while he was married to his ex-wife Khloe Kardashian, a woman he was seeing used his phone to call Khloe to come pick him up. His career was also affected by tragedy on October 13, 2015, when he overdosed on drugs at a brothel in Nevada. He suffered kidney failure, multiple heart attacks, 12 strokes, fell into a coma, and was placed on a ventilator. This medical crisis marked the end of both his marriage and his professional basketball career. Richard Pryor is considered one of the greatest and most influential comedians of all time. He had a successful career in the entertainment industry, winning prestigious awards including an Emmy and 5 Grammys. However, his downfall began when he became mired in drug and alcohol addiction. By the late 1970s, Pryor's addictions became so severe that he became known for his erratic behavior, alienating friends and associates, leading to numerous legal, financial, and personal troubles. His addiction was so severe that his then-wife, Jennifer Lee, revealed that she left him after discovering his cocaine use. "After 2 weeks of watching him sink into addiction, I left," she said. "It was clear that drugs had become his lover, and what I did no longer seemed important." In 1977, after years of smoking and drinking, Pryor suffered a mild heart attack at the age of 36. He suffered a second heart attack in 1990, and on the morning of December 10, 2005, he died of a third heart attack at his home in Los Angeles. Reports indicate that his fatal heart attack was caused by coronary artery disease, in part due to his years of smoking. Clifford Joseph Harris Jr., better known by his stage name T.I., is another African-American rapper and actor who has faced a brutal battle with addiction. Early in his turbulent career, he was involved in drug dealing and experimented with various illegal substances. These experiences laid the foundation for his later struggles in life, as he faced the temptations and consequences of substance abuse. Things got worse after he was released from prison on March 26, 2010, after serving time for weapons-related charges. During this period, T.I. began using prescription painkillers as a way to alleviate the pain from dental surgeries. However, what started as a way to treat physical pain quickly developed into a serious addiction that threatened his stability and future. Fortunately, T.I. has shown a strong will to overcome addiction. In recent years, he has turned his personal struggles into a platform for positive change. He has been open about his struggles and has been an active advocate for rehabilitation rather than punishment, especially in the African American community, where the problem often has devastating consequences. The story of Michael K. Williams, a talented Hollywood actor known for his roles in The Wire and Boardwalk Empire, is both captivating and deeply tragic. Williams became a household name for his role as Omar Little, a morally disciplined but terrifying street robber on the hit television series The Wire. However, playing a character immersed in the world of crime and drugs took a toll on his mental and emotional health, leading to personal struggles with addiction in real life. He developed a smoking habit early on, which escalated into a dependence on various stimulants, creating a vicious cycle that was difficult to escape. On September 6, 2021, at the age of 54, Williams was found dead in his Brooklyn apartment by his nephew. The New York City Medical Examiner's Office later confirmed the cause of death as a drug overdose, involving a combination of more than 4 different substances. His tragic passing came just months after he publicly shared that he was actively seeking treatment for his mental health and addiction issues. The sudden death of Michael K. Williams is a heartbreaking reminder of the devastating effects of addiction, a problem that can affect anyone, no matter how successful they may have been in their careers. His story shows that sometimes playing deep and complex roles on screen can leave unexpected marks on the artist's soul, and that the battle with inner darkness can be more difficult than any role. D'Angelo, a popular singer, songwriter, and producer, is another example of a black celebrity who struggled with addiction. He became widely known for his R&B and soul music in the mid-1990s, especially for albums like Brown Sugar and Voodoo. Following the massive success of these albums, D'Angelo's appearance became a subject of public and media attention. While this increased his fame, it also began to affect his mental health. D'Angelo decided to withdraw from the public eye. On the last day of his 8-month tour, he told his bandmates, "I can't wait for this tour to be over. I'm going to go into the woods, drink, grow a beard, and gain weight." And that's exactly what he did. However, once he withdrew from the public eye, his life took a darker turn as he began to struggle with alcohol and substance abuse. He admitted that he initially used them to cope with the pressure and stress of fame. Unfortunately, things spiraled out of control, leading to multiple arrests and a near-fatal car accident in 2005. Fortunately, D'Angelo returned in 2014 with the album Black Messiah, proving that despite his difficult times, he did not give up. However, unlike D'Angelo, many other black stars have not had the opportunity to change and live a sober life. Pimp C, a famous rapper and producer, is one of the sad examples of those who have not been able to overcome addiction. He was one half of the underground hip-hop duo UGK with Bun B. The group released their breakthrough album Too Hard to Swallow in 1992, followed by successful albums like Super Tight and Ridin' Dirty, which helped cement their influence in the hip-hop community. Pimp C's battle with addiction began quietly as he faced the relentless pressures and challenges of the competitive hip-hop industry. The stresses of his career and personal life led him to seek unhealthy relief, planting the seeds of a heartbreaking tragedy. Tragedy struck on the morning of December 4, 2007, when he was found unresponsive in his West Hollywood, California hotel room. Medical personnel pronounced him dead at the scene. The cause of death was later determined to be a drug overdose, the result of an overdose of cough syrup, an act made more dangerous by the sleep apnea he suffered from, a condition that can cause breathing to stop for up to 30 seconds while sleeping. Pimp C's talented but tragic life ended at the young age of 30, once again highlighting the devastating impact and fatal consequences of substance abuse. Nate Dogg, a hip-hop icon, is known as the king of the chorus for his signature deep voice and unforgettable hooks in countless West Coast rap classics. However, in addition to his great contributions to the music industry, Nate Dogg's life has also been deeply affected by addiction issues. Growing up in an environment where stimulants were everywhere, these negative influences played a significant role in shaping his lifestyle and future choices. Over time, alcohol, drugs, and all-night partying became a part of Nate Dogg's daily life, causing serious damage to both his physical health and his personal relationships. Unfortunately, after years of substance abuse, on December 19, 2007, Nate Dogg suffered a stroke. Although he recovered after a week in the hospital and a rehabilitation program, he continued to abuse alcohol and drugs throughout his difficult recovery. On September 12, 2008, Nate Dogg suffered another stroke. Sadly, after serious health complications from multiple strokes and congestive heart failure, he passed away on March 15, 2011, at the age of 41 in Long Beach, California. His passing was a great loss to the hip-hop community and a reminder of the devastating consequences that substance abuse can have. Snoop Dogg, whose real name is Calvin Cortazar Broadus Jr., is widely known for his marijuana use, which has become an integral part of his signature public image. Throughout his decades-long career, Snoop Dogg has been open about his love of cannabis, often joking about his frequency of use. Marijuana appears as a consistent theme in his music, his wild West Coast lifestyle, and his various brand activities. Not only that, Snoop Dogg is also a strong advocate for the legalization of marijuana and has even launched his own cannabis brand, Leafs by Snoop. This publicity has sparked much discussion about his personal relationship with the substance, especially in the context of a celebrity actively promoting it as an integral part of his self-image. While many fans view his marijuana use as part of Snoop Dogg's laid-back West Coast persona, there are no credible reports that he has struggled with addiction in the conventional sense. That is to say, he has not exhibited signs of severe substance dependence or significant negative impacts on his daily life, which are often associated with true addiction. Instead, Snoop Dogg's marijuana use appears to be a conscious personal choice and a carefully calculated component of his broader public identity. Lil' Kim, whose real name is Kimberly Denise Jones, is a pioneering black rapper and a major icon in the world of hip-hop. She has established herself as one of the most powerful women in rap history. However, behind the tough exterior and personality of a gangster queen is a sensitive soul who has faced a long-term battle with substance abuse and addiction. Lil' Kim's battle began during her difficult youth, when she left home at the age of 14 and entered the dangerous world of drug trafficking to make a living. She began working odd jobs for drug dealers and gradually became dependent on stimulants to cope with her insecurities and low self-esteem. Her relationship with Notorious B.I.G. also played a role in her battle with addiction, and after his death in 1997, her problems worsened. This put a huge strain on her personal life, career, and health, even leading to legal trouble. In 2005, she was convicted of perjury and conspiracy for lying to a jury about her friend's involvement in a shooting. After her release from prison, her struggles only deepened. Lil' Kim attempted to revive her career, but the lingering effects of her addiction continued to be a challenge. Legendary singer, songwriter, and rapper Lauryn Hill is one of the most influential artists in music history. With over 50 million albums sold worldwide, she has established herself as one of the best-selling female rappers of all time. However, the immense pressure of maintaining a public image, combined with a grueling touring schedule and high expectations from her fans, gradually became too much for her to handle. These pressures came to a head in 2000, when Lauryn Hill abruptly disappeared from the public eye. This was an extremely stressful period in her life, as she made shocking decisions, such as firing her management team, completely stopping giving interviews, and even avoiding watching television and listening to music. During this period of seclusion, she also began to exhibit erratic behavior related to substance abuse and dependence. Despite her difficult personal challenges, Lauryn Hill has remained one of the most respected figures in the music industry, thanks to her undeniable talent and artistic contributions. Eddie Griffin, the acclaimed comedian, actor, and writer known for his stand-up comedy and films like Undercover Brother and Malcolm and Eddie, is a prime example of a black celebrity struggling with addiction. Griffin possessed a sharp wit and uncensored comedic style that helped him stand out early in his career. However, like many others, Griffin fell into substance abuse. His lifestyle of late nights and demanding work schedules made him susceptible to addiction. This led to erratic behavior in his personal life, damaging his relationships and career. Fortunately, Griffin overcame his addiction and now takes no opportunity to speak out against the negative effects of alcohol and drugs. In a recent interview, he highlighted his purpose and journey as a way to bring hope amid despair, joy amid sadness, love amid hate, and truth amid alternative facts. Nate Robinson, a former professional basketball player and sports star, has captured the hearts of sports fans with his impressive dunks and fierce competitive spirit. Standing just 5'10", Robinson became a three-time slam dunk contest champion in 2010, proving that heart and talent can overcome physical limitations. Despite his great success, Nate fell into a spiral of alcoholism. His drinking, which started out moderate, became more frequent and began to affect his performance on the court and his family relationships. In 2022, Robinson revealed that he had developed kidney disease, a result of years of alcohol abuse. By April 2024, his kidney condition had deteriorated to the point where he needed a kidney transplant to replace his failing kidney in order to live a long life. "I have to be here," he told Men's Health magazine. "I want to live another 40 years, be a grandfather, see my grandchildren, take them to the gym, tell them stories about my time in the NBA." Don Cornelius was a prolific television host and producer, best known as the creator of the iconic music and dance show Soul Train, which he hosted from 1970 to 1993. Cornelius had a profound and lasting impact on the entertainment industry, truly revolutionizing it by bringing black music and culture into the American mainstream, opening doors for many artists and musical genres. However, despite his immense success and contributions to the music and television industries, Don Cornelius's personal life was fraught with challenges and hardships. He struggled with alcohol and substance abuse, which had a negative impact on both his physical health and his career. Cornelius faced serious health problems in the last 3 decades of his life. In 1982, he underwent a 21-hour surgery to correct a congenital vascular malformation in his brain. Following the risky surgery, he suffered serious health complications, including seizures, which eventually forced him to retire and focus on his recovery. On February 1, 2012, police were called to Don Cornelius's Los Angeles home. There, they found him dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound at the age of 75. His sudden and tragic passing left his family, friends, and millions of fans around the world in shock and grief. Don Cornelius will forever be remembered for the signature line he used to end each episode of Soul Train. "I am Don Cornelius, and as always in farewell, we wish you love, peace, and soul." Meek Mill, the famous American rapper, also made the list. Meek Mill rose to fame in 2011 after appearing on a record label compilation album. While he became a prominent voice in hip-hop, his success was overshadowed by legal battles, mental health issues, and substance abuse. Meek Mill's battle with addiction began after he was prescribed strong painkillers following wisdom tooth surgery. This marked the beginning of a long and painful battle with addiction and substance abuse, which led to legal challenges. In 2008, he was convicted of drug possession and sentenced to 11 to 23 months in prison, followed by 8 years of probation. Over the years, Meek Mill sought help and recovered. Looking back on his addiction days, he said, "I think there's a fine line between having a problem and being afraid to tell your probation officer because you don't want to be locked up for years." Despite his struggles, Meek Mill is still remembered as one of the most influential rappers in the music industry. Ja Rule is another famous rapper who has battled substance abuse. He has had a very successful career, selling millions of albums and earning millions of dollars from music and reality television. Ja Rule revealed that he started dealing drugs around the age of 12 or 13 when he was forced to work to help his mother through her struggles. He then began experimenting and quickly fell into a serious addiction. His fight was thrust into the spotlight as he faced high-profile legal issues, including a 2011 prison sentence for firearms possession and tax evasion. While Ja Rule has not publicly disclosed his specific addiction treatment, his time in prison was a wake-up call, causing him to reflect on his life choices and future. He also focused on rebuilding his career and personal life, returning to music and engaging in various business ventures. He has also emphasized the importance of resilience and making positive choices. Jimi Hendrix, one of the greatest icons in rock history, is revered as one of the most talented and influential guitarists of all time. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame even described him as perhaps the greatest guitarist in the history of rock. Yet behind his extraordinary talent was a quiet struggle with a serious problem, one that ultimately led to his tragic and untimely death. It all started in 1962, when Jimi Hendrix went out for a drink in a small Tennessee bar and nearly blew his meager savings on hard liquor. After that night, alcohol became an obsession in his life, leading to uncontrollable violent outbursts and rare moments of aggression. He began combining alcohol with drugs, and each time he did so, his condition worsened. This had a serious negative impact on his burgeoning music career, his already fragile personal relationships, and his physical and mental health. It all ended in heartbreaking tragedy on September 18, 1970, when he was found breathing but completely unresponsive. According to his girlfriend, Monika Dannemann, he had taken 9 sleeping pills, 18 times the recommended dosage, before going to bed. He was pronounced dead later that day. An autopsy revealed that he died from asphyxiation from his own vomit, and that he had been suffering from alcoholism and drug abuse at the time. Jimi Hendrix's sudden death sent the world, especially die-hard rock fans, into a state of deep mourning. Mystikal, a prominent figure in the Southern hip-hop scene, known for his high-energy performances and unique rapping style, also struggled with serious addiction. His battle with substance abuse was closely tied to his long-standing legal troubles and personal issues. He was arrested multiple times on drug-related charges, including possession of a controlled substance and violating the terms of his probation. As a result of these actions, Mystikal has been sentenced to multiple prison terms, including one that lasted as long as 6 years. Although he has pleaded not guilty to drug possession charges in some cases, it is clear from his repeated arrests that his ongoing struggles with addiction and substance abuse have had a negative impact on both his career and personal life. Billie Holiday, affectionately known as Lady Day, has left a lasting mark on jazz and pop history. But her life is also a harrowing testament to the devastating effects of addiction. She struggled with severe alcoholism and drug abuse for a long time. In early 1959, Billie Holiday was diagnosed with cirrhosis of the liver, a direct result of her heavy drinking. Despite repeated attempts to seek help and rehab, she was unable to escape the vicious cycle of relapse. Ultimately, health problems caused by addiction led to Billie Holiday's early death in 1959. She was hospitalized for heart failure and severe kidney problems. Sadly, while she was in her hospital bed, New York police arrested her for possession of heroin, which was found in her hospital room. Billie Holiday died in the hospital just days later, still in police custody for drug possession at the age of 44. Her passing was a great loss to the music industry and a reminder of the destructive power of addiction. Charlie Wilson, affectionately known as Uncle Charlie, rose to fame in the 1970s and 1980s with hits like Outstanding, You Dropped a Bomb on Me, and burn rubber on me. However, after reaching such great heights in the entertainment industry, Charlie Wilson faced a difficult period as he struggled with drug and alcohol addiction, which led him to live on the streets of Hollywood Boulevard from 1993 to 1995. The good news is that Charlie Wilson courageously sought help and successfully navigated this dark period of his life. Since then, he has maintained an admirable sobriety. His efforts and achievements have been recognized with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Looking back on his arduous yet empowering journey, Charlie Wilson shares with sincerity, "I stand before you today as a man who has been sober for 29 years, without a single relapse every single day, 7 days a week, for the past 29 years. Sean Combs, better known by his stage names Diddy and Puff Daddy, has a story that illustrates the devastating effects addiction can have on both a person's career and personal life. Once one of hip-hop's brightest stars, Diddy rose to the top of his career, had a profound impact on the music industry, and was known for his extravagant parties and events. However, his years of struggle with addiction have turned him from an icon into a bitter cautionary tale. Despite his immense career success, his struggles with substance abuse have taken a toll on his personal relationships and damaged the professional reputation he has worked so hard to build. Recent revelations about Diddy's life have revealed that he not only struggled with self-control, but also made serious poor decisions, leading to a series of scandals and allegations of illegal partying. Not only did his addiction wreak havoc on his physical and mental health, it also led to numerous lawsuits that tarnished his image as an entertainment mogul. Now, Sean Combs is facing a possible prison sentence of 15 years to life if convicted. The situation has caused both fans and the music industry as a whole to pause and seriously reflect on the devastating effects addiction can have on talented and promising individuals who may seem to have the world in their hands. Thank you for watching until the end of the video. The hidden corners of the lives of famous people sometimes make us think a lot. No matter how big the halo is, people still have weak moments and are prone to falling. Hopefully, today's video has given you a more realistic perspective. Don't forget to like, comment, and leave 5 subs to support the channel. See you in the next video. Goodbye. Throughout the rich history of R&B music, numerous gifted artists have faced immense personal struggles, particularly in their battle against addiction. Despite leaving behind unforgettable songs that have become the soundtrack of generations, many of these musicians found themselves caught in the destructive grip of substance abuse and self-sabotaging behaviors. These artists endured not only physical suffering, but also the far-reaching consequences of addiction on their careers and public image. In this article, we reflect on the lives of 15 R&B legends who grappled with addiction, the deep psychological battles they fought, and the personal tragedies they experienced, all while their incredible talents continue to resonate and inspire today. We all have those unforgettable stories about our favorite artists, the ones who faced struggles that no one could have seen coming. But how well do you know the stories of R&B icons who fought their own battles with addiction? Drop a 1 if you know of an artist who overcame these challenges, or a 0 if this is news to you. Be sure to enjoy the video and show your support by hitting that subscribe button. Let's dive into these powerful yet heartbreaking stories together. Have you ever thought about the great artists in R&B history who had to face the worst battles with addiction? Samuel Moore is one of them. He was a legendary soul and R&B singer, famously known as half of the iconic duo Sam and Dave from 1961 to 1981. With his powerful voice and dynamic stage presence, he became an enduring symbol in music throughout his life. Moore was honored with inductions into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the Grammy Hall of Fame, and the National R&B Music Hall of Fame. However, behind the glamour, Moore's life was filled with hardships. He faced tremendous challenges, from being shot by a jealous husband, spending time in prison, to struggling with a 15-year battle against heroin and cocaine addiction. Moore's journey to fame was far from easy. Reflecting back in 1986, he admitted that his addiction weighed heavily on the most successful years of his career, particularly during the 1960s and 1970s. The partnership between Moore and Dave Prater began to unravel in 1970. After their split, Moore fell deeper into drug addiction and struggled to escape its destructive grip. The following years were marked by tragedy, as their albums, after reuniting in 1971, failed to reach the same level of success as before, and their 1975 album was a complete flop. It wasn't until 1982 that Moore started to make efforts toward recovery, thanks to the support of Joyce McCrae, his wife, and later his manager. She helped him break free from his addiction, leading to a new phase in his career and bringing stability back into Moore's life. Etta James is a true icon of soul music, known for her deeply emotional voice that could move listeners to tears. She didn't just conquer soul music, but also made her mark across several genres like blues, R&B, jazz, and rock and roll, leaving behind timeless hits like Wallflower, Something's Got a Hold on Me, Tell Mama, and I'd Rather Go Blind. However, James's life wasn't just defined by sweet melodies. For much of her life, she struggled with heroin and alcohol addiction. Her addiction led her down a path of destructive actions, including writing bad checks, forging prescriptions, and even stealing money from friends to feed her cravings. In 1966, she was arrested for fraud and placed on probation. However, by 1969, she violated her probation and spent 10 days in jail. Despite this, James's life continued in a vicious cycle of rehab and relapse until 1973. Her addiction cost her many opportunities and pushed her further into a dark place. But it was through these painful experiences that she was able to make a triumphant return to music, eventually penning more legendary love songs. Etta James's life was filled with hardships, not only due to challenges in her career, but also because of her ongoing battle with drugs. One of the most serious trials she faced was when she was arrested for heroin possession. However, instead of being sent to prison, the court decided to enroll her in a rehab program. Despite her efforts to overcome addiction, her struggle was far from over. James started using methadone, which she mixed with heroin, worsening her condition even further. Her journey was a long and painful one, but ultimately it led her to a place of redemption, where she reclaimed her career and became an iconic figure in the world of music. She spent 17 months at the Tarzana Mental Hospital, a challenging and painful period in her life. However, in her autobiography Rage to Survive, 1995, James admitted that those months profoundly changed her. Despite this, overcoming addiction was not an easy task. After leaving the rehab program, she relapsed, particularly after becoming involved with a man who also used drugs. James's battle with substance abuse continued relentlessly, even as she sought treatment in 2010 to overcome her addiction to painkillers. Despite the numerous struggles, she maintained her status as one of the strongest voices in music history, leaving behind a musical legacy that will never fade. Amy Winehouse, the British singer known for her signature deep and soulful voice, rose to fame with her unique ability to blend genres such as soul, jazz, reggae, and R&B. While she achieved incredible success in her career, Amy was also plagued by serious struggles with drugs, alcohol, and mental health issues. At the height of her career, she found herself caught in a dangerous relationship with substance abuse. In August 2007, she was hospitalized after overdosing on a mix of heroin, ecstasy, cocaine, ketamine, and alcohol. This incident led her to cancel several performances in the UK and Europe due to exhaustion and concerns over her health. In subsequent interviews, Amy admitted to struggling with depression, self-harm, and eating disorders. She shared with the Los Angeles Times that at that time, she truly thought her life was over. Her life continued to spiral out of control as her drug use severely impacted her career. In 2008, Amy was banned from entering the U.S. to attend the Grammy Awards due to failing a drug test. Despite her struggles, those close to Amy saw another side of her. Singer Lily Allen once mentioned that even though Amy would sometimes go crazy from drugs, she was also incredibly intelligent, witty, and had a great sense of humor, often able to keep her composure in tough situations. In 2008, Amy made the decision to quit illegal drugs for good. In a 2010 interview, she shared, "I really woke up one day and thought, I don't want to do this anymore." However, despite her efforts, alcohol became a new struggle. She would stay sober for weeks at a time, but in 2009, she relapsed into drinking once again. In 2011, a leaked video surfaced showing Amy smoking crack cocaine, leading to an arrest. However, she was released after the police could not confirm what substances she had actually used. Despite being investigated, the case was ultimately dropped due to lack of evidence. When Amy passed away in 2011, rumors about the cause of her death began to spread. Some believed she died from a drug overdose, while others speculated that her death was due to a mixture of lethal substances. D'Angelo is one of the most talented American singers, songwriters, multi-instrumentalists, and record producers, renowned for his ability to compose, produce, and play a variety of instruments. He has become one of the most influential artists in the neo-soul genre. D'Angelo's journey to fame began when he helped produce the song "What About Us" for the R&B group Black Men United. However, it was his debut album Brown Sugar that truly marked a turning point in his career. Brown Sugar was a huge success, selling over 1 million copies and earning platinum certification. Music critics praised the album for redefining R&B and helping launch the neo-soul movement with its unique blend of soul, jazz, and funk. However, despite his fame, D'Angelo's life was far from smooth. As he toured around the world, his personal struggles began to intensify. He became increasingly uncomfortable with the music industry's focus on his physical appearance rather than his actual music. After his tour ended, D'Angelo returned to his home in Richmond, Virginia, and almost disappeared from the music industry. In 2001, Tragedy struck again when his close friend and MTV affiliate Fred Jordan passed away. This loss pushed D'Angelo into a deep depression, leading him to turn to alcohol, and his mental health issues worsened. While his record label was eagerly awaiting his new album, his addiction made it impossible for him to complete the project. In 2005, he faced further turmoil as his girlfriend left him, his family distanced themselves, and he even parted ways with his manager. In the same year, D'Angelo was arrested for drug possession. His mugshot shocked the entertainment world, as the image of him at the time showed a man who was overweight, broken, and far from the confident, healthy image he once had. Soon after, a car accident added to the chaos, causing his life to spiral further out of control. He eventually entered a rehab facility at the Crossroads Center in Antigua to begin his recovery. Despite facing numerous challenges, D'Angelo is still regarded as an icon of the neo-soul genre. His journey exemplifies the relentless struggle he faced both personally and professionally. Donny Hathaway is one of the most talented soul singers of all time. Not only was he an outstanding keyboard player, but he was also a gifted songwriter whose music resonated deeply with millions. Rolling Stone magazine dubbed him a soul legend, and his songs such as Ghetto, This Christmas, Tomorrow We'll All Be Free, and Little Ghetto Boy remain beloved to this day. However, behind his extraordinary talent was a life filled with struggle. At the peak of his career, Hathaway began to face severe mental health issues. In 1971, doctors diagnosed him with delusions and schizophrenia. To manage his condition, Hathaway was prescribed numerous medications, totaling up to 14 pills a day, which he had to take twice daily. However, Hathaway's struggles were not limited to his mental health. He also battled drug addiction, which further exacerbated his psychological issues. The pressure from the music industry, combined with his fragile emotional state, created a storm that made it increasingly difficult for him to break free. Yet, at times, the medication would improve his condition, allowing him to focus on his music. According to his wife, Eulala Hathaway, whenever he felt better, he would often stop taking the medication. If you or someone you know is going through similar struggles, don't hesitate to seek support and help. Resilience and determination are the keys to overcoming difficulties. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any more meaningful stories. Thank you for your support, and I wish you all strength and perseverance on your journey. From 1973 to 1977, Hathaway's condition worsened to the point where he had to be hospitalized multiple times. Despite attempting a return to music in 1979 with a new album titled Duets, Hathaway was unable to overcome his health and mental struggles. Ultimately, on January 13, 1979, Donny Hathaway passed away at the age of 33 in a fall from a building in New York. However, his music lives on, and his name remains a legendary figure in the history of soul music. Donny Hathaway, with his deeply emotional voice and outstanding musical talent, became an icon in the soul genre. Yet his career was tragically interrupted by severe mental health issues. When Donny Hathaway began experiencing psychological issues, believing in paranoid delusions about the existence of hostile forces, his behavior became increasingly concerning. This caused alarm among those around him, including musicians and producers. One recording session had to be canceled due to his deteriorating condition. Tragically, Hathaway's career ended in a somber way when he was found dead outside the Essex House Hotel in New York in 1979. The police concluded that it was a suicide. Despite his immense talent and promising future, Donny Hathaway could not overcome the inner turmoil of his mind, ultimately becoming one of music's tragic legends, with a heartbreaking end to his story. Al Green's career is marked by both incredible highs and deep lows. As a legend in the soul music genre, he made an indelible impact on fans with hits like "Tired of Being Alone" and "Let's Stay Together." However, Green's life hasn't always been smooth sailing. He faced many challenges from a young age, including being kicked out of his house by his father simply for listening to Jackie Wilson's music. Despite these early struggles, Green's talent propelled him to stardom, though his journey would be far from free of turbulence. Complex relationships and a troubled life led Green into drug and alcohol abuse, with several violent incidents linked to him. However, a major turning point came when his girlfriend committed suicide, leaving him completely devastated. Following this tragedy, Al Green decided to give up his secular music career and became a pastor. In the years that followed, he returned to secular music and achieved notable success, particularly with the song "Put a Little Love in Your Heart" in 1988 for the film Scrooged. Charlie Wilson, the lead singer of the Gap Band, also has a story full of hardships and challenges. Despite a successful career, Wilson went through a prolonged period of struggle when his band faced financial issues in the late 1980s. This led Wilson to fall into severe drug and alcohol addiction. From being a famous artist, he descended into a deep addiction, living on the streets of Los Angeles for an extended period, sometimes having to hide and survive on meager meals. However, with the support of a drug counselor, who later became his wife, Wilson was able to regain sobriety and gradually rebuild his career. His recovery is a testament to his resilience and determination to overcome challenges, allowing him to continue contributing to music and achieving great success, especially in recent years. Jackie Wilson, often called Mr. Excitement, is one of the greatest legends of R&B and soul music. With his powerful stage presence, energetic dance moves, and commanding voice, he was a trailblazer in the transformation of rhythm and blues into soul music. Wilson's career soared with over 50 hit songs, including 16 that landed in the top 10 on the R&B charts, and many more that topped the pop charts. However, his personal life was filled with struggles and tragedies. Jackie Wilson battled alcoholism, amphetamine and cocaine addiction, and his ties with the mafia, alongside personal scandals, severely impacted his career. A major shock in his life came with the death of his 16-year-old son, Jackie Jr., who was tragically shot near their home in 1970. This tragedy pushed Wilson into a deep depression, leading him to step away from the spotlight. The next loss came in 1977 when his daughter, Sandra, tragically passed away from a heart attack at just 24 years old. In 1988, he faced another heartbreaking blow when his daughter, Jacqueline, died in a drug-related incident. From that point on, Wilson's career began to fade, and he could no longer maintain the same energy and brilliance that had once defined him. Gerald Levert, the son of Eddie Levert, the legendary lead singer of the O'Jays, began his music career at a very young age. He made a name for himself not only with his exceptional musical talent, but also with his skills in songwriting and production. Gerald's success came through his solo albums and group work, particularly his collaboration with his brother Sean in the group Levert, as well as his work with the supergroup LSG. alongside Keith Sweat and Johnny Gill. However, despite his thriving music career, like many other artists, Gerald Levert could not escape the pressures of the music industry. To cope with the stresses of his career, Gerald Levert fell into drug use. This gradually became a dangerous habit and ultimately led to his death in 2006 at the age of 40 due to an overdose of painkillers and anti-anxiety medication. Although his family and loved ones explained that his drug use was meant to manage chronic pain from previous surgeries, Gerald Levert's passing was still a significant loss to the music world, especially for those who cherished R&B. Natalie Cole, the daughter of the legendary Nat King Cole, also forged a remarkable career in the music industry. Her breakthrough came in the mid-1970s with her debut album Inseparable, which featured the hit song This Will Be an Everlasting Love. This success not only earned her a Grammy Award for Best New Artist, but also marked her as the first artist to win this award as an R&B and African American artist. Despite achieving significant success in her career, Natalie Cole also faced numerous personal challenges. She struggled with alcohol and drug addiction, which had a considerable impact on her life and career. However, like many artists, Natalie fought through these difficulties and overcame them. She continued to release successful albums and became an enduring symbol of R&B music for decades. Natalie Cole's career faced significant challenges in the early 1980s when she struggled with severe drug addiction. In her autobiography, Angel on My Shoulder, she revealed that drug use consumed her life. She became addicted to heroin and crack cocaine, and at her worst, she even resorted to sex work to fuel her addiction. This led her to dangerous situations, including terrifying moments such as when she refused to leave a burning building or when her son Robert nearly drowned in the family pool while she was high. These events made Natalie realize that she was on a path of self-destruction. Determined to change, she entered rehab in 1983 and spent 6 months in treatment. After overcoming her addiction, she gradually rebuilt her career. She released the album Dangerous and made a comeback with Everlasting in 1987, featuring hits like Jumpstart My Heart, I Live for Your Love, and a famous cover of Bruce Springsteen's Pink Cadillac. Notably, the Everlasting album helped her return to the top and proved that she was still a major music star. Whitney Houston was one of the greatest performers of all time, with a powerful voice and incredible success. However, behind the glitz and glamour, she battled a long and painful struggle with addiction. She admitted in a 2009 interview with Oprah Winfrey that her drug use started off casually, but eventually spiraled into a serious problem. After the tremendous success of The Bodyguard and the birth of her daughter Bobbi Kristina in 1993, Whitney's family attempted to intervene, begging her to seek treatment, but she refused. In the early 2000s, Whitney lost weight and faced severe health issues. In 2001, her frail appearance sparked rumors about her health, but her representative explained that she simply wasn't eating. However, by 2009, Whitney admitted that drugs were the reason for her weight loss and deteriorating health. She had famously said, "Crack is whack," during a 2002 interview where she denied the severity of her addiction, but by 2009, she became more open about her struggles. Despite multiple attempts at rehab, Whitney was unable to fully overcome her addiction. She continued to battle drugs and alcohol, even checking into rehab again in May 2011, but her fight was far from over. It's tragic, but on February 11, 2012, Whitney Houston was found unresponsive in her hotel room. Police reports indicated that the investigation revealed a mix of alcohol, cocaine, and Xanax in her system, along with the presence of a drug-related substance called xylene. Whitney Houston's passing shocked the music world and fans globally. Despite her long battle with addiction, Whitney Houston remains one of the most influential artists in music history. David Prater Jr. was a prominent Southern soul and R&B singer, best known as one half of the legendary duo Sam and Dave. With his warm baritone voice and powerful high notes, he helped create unforgettable hits in the history of soul music. Sam and Dave were regarded by Rolling Stone magazine as the most successful soul duo, earning critical acclaim. They brought the dynamic and fervent spirit of black gospel music into mainstream pop, with iconic tracks like Soul Man, Hold On, I'm Coming, and I Thank You. These hits were recorded at the Stax Recording Studio in Memphis, Tennessee from 1965 to 1968 and became iconic symbols of Southern soul music. With their distinctive call-and-response singing style, Sam and Dave brought vibrant, church-like energy into their music, delivering performances that felt like gospel sermons, but through the lens of popular music. However, behind these successes, the duo's career was fraught with conflicts. The relationship between Sam and Dave was often strained and tumultuous, and after ending their contract with Stax, they officially parted ways in June 1970. After Sam and Dave disbanded, Prater tried to continue his solo career, returning to the Alon label in Miami. However, his independent career never reached the heights it once had, and he performed sporadically in the following years. During this time, Prater faced significant challenges in his personal life, particularly battling drug addiction. Although his wife believed he had overcome the difficult period, the reality was quite different, and he continued to struggle with his addiction. In the summer of 1987, Prater was arrested for selling crack cocaine to an undercover officer. He pled guilty and was sentenced to 3 years of probation. The court also ordered him to pay a fine of $1,580 and complete 150 hours of community service. Despite the significant troubles, his wife always held hope that he could overcome his struggles. Unfortunately, tragedy struck before Prater could turn his life around. On April 9, 1988, just 1 year after his arrest, he passed away in a car accident. David Prater's story really makes us reflect on the challenges life can bring. Despite facing difficulties and making mistakes, not everyone is able to overcome them. What do you think about Prater's painful journey? Have you ever faced a tough situation in your life? And how did you get through it? Share with us in the comments. And don't forget to leave a like if you found this story moving, and hit that subscribe button to support the channel so we can bring more meaningful videos to you. Wishing you all a wonderful day. The dazzling stage lights, glamorous red carpets, and worldwide fame are what most people think of when they hear Hollywood. However, behind that glittering facade lies a darker side that not everyone sees. Many stars who were once celebrated on screen have struggled in real life with alcohol addiction, a silent but devastating disease. Some found a way out and made a powerful comeback, but others lost themselves in the haze of alcohol. Below is a list of the heaviest alcohol-addicted stars in Hollywood, those who were nearly drunk all the time, sending their careers and lives into a downward spiral. If you find these stories of brave actors inspiring and meaningful, don't forget to leave a comment with 1 if you empathize with them, or 0 if you have a different opinion. Make sure to like and share so your friends can follow along with these powerful stories too. Andre the Giant was a famous wrestler and actor from France. He was born on May 19, 1946, and his real name was André René Roussimoff. Due to a condition called acromegaly, he grew to an unusually large and powerful size. He stood about 7'4", 224 cm, tall and weighed around 520 lbs, 236 kg.